Hey everybody, it's Thomas. Let's talk about some Blood Bowl League of Blood Bowl. Week 2 just wrapped up a few moments ago. It was a week, to say the least. You can watch my game up here, obviously. You might want to do that before I go too much farther, because, oh my god, the spoilers! Let's do some team management first. Let's do that. So I've waited to do this for a couple of reasons. One, well, the thrower is pretty obvious. I'm going to get block here. Reason we get block instead of perhaps accurate or safe throw, which is also something I've considered getting. I needed more defensive power, essentially, especially against some of the faster teams in the league. I need to be able to have somebody back that can protect the ball, not get knocked over as easily, and also have the advantage of being able to punch people in the face, then chuck the ball downfield, if need be. So we're going to get block here, and then maybe sure hands after that. I don't know. We'll decide. Probably more likely to get accurate or even dodge. I don't know. We've got a lot of choices, but block is what we're going to get for sure for the thrower. Easy peasy. Done. That one wasn't that hard. This is the one that's nerve-wracking. This is Nan, our wonderful, wonderful lineman, or linewoman, I should say. Now, +1 agility is something I would get on almost any of the positionals. Probably all of them, honestly. And if this league was any longer, I think I would get it on Nan. No hesitation. The problem is the league is so short that all the skills are going to be much more valuable. And I can't really do anything with a 5 agility lineman. My linemen need to be in front, taking hits, marking people. 1 agility isn't going to help that. It makes dodging a teeny bit easier when I'm dodging through things. It makes some of the handoffs and passes and all that stuff a little easier, but that's what the thrower is for. And if I'm getting desperate to do huge chain tosses, hopefully I'm doing it with a catcher or somebody else that can really use the SBP. So, I don't know. I really want to get the agility. I just don't think I can afford to because I really need kick. Kick would make a lot of my life a lot easier. Alright, let's just do it. We're going to kick. I may regret that later, but my team value is going to bloat anyway, so I'll just get kick. So yeah, you may notice there's some big, huge gaping holes in my lineup. In fact, there's a good reason for that. Well, this is about the thrower, but these two spots used to be linemen. Orville had a really great first turn and killed 2 of them. Just killed 2 of them. And then shortly thereafter, missed next game, Wanda. Let's take a look at, or that was a dodge out. I don't remember what happened exactly. 2 deaths. Nope, all my casualties were him, so yeah. Yeah, not the best. 2 deaths. Really hurts. They're just linemen, so it's not the end of the world. Especially because linemen are just going to get stuck in front anyway. So it's kind of okay. It's not great, though. It's really not great. In terms of how I did, I had a good amount of passing. I feel like, again, I could have won this game had I positioned a little better. I feel like I messed up. I could have at least made the, I don't know. I don't want to dwell on too much because I think it's a simple mistake where I should have been safe, but what can you do? It didn't help that Orville's hit dice were on fire. It's just, yeah, that's all I can do. Winning 30 is kind of the brutal part because elf players are not necessarily the cheapest, especially because the ones I need to get are at least 70,000. But realistically, I'm saving up for 100,000. And getting 30 means it's even farther away. It's very possible I could roll 70 next week, but odds aren't that great. So I got a casualty out of it, which is okay, I guess. I'm never going to say no to that. But I only put 12 SPP, which, you know, that's a lot for a team that isn't moving the ball as well as I do. Yeah. So, I don't know. I got tackled a lot. I KO'd myself a few times. I mean, there's only so much you could do when you're down 2 players kind of permanently right away. So, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I could have done better, I think. The only reason I thought I could have won this game at all is Orville was a little risky on scoring earlier than he needed to. What can you do? So that's how that game went. Again, I won 30,000 and got a couple levels up. Let's look at the Orville side of things. Or we're going to level up on this Blitzer. He hasn't done that yet. If it was me, I would do probably Mighty Blow. Tackle would be okay, but I think Mighty Blow is what he wants. I did -1 agility this Troll Slayer, so I feel pretty good about that. It's a small recompense for losing so much. He only rolled 40,000, and I brought this up a couple times, but the 40,000 makes it really bad in that if he had gone with reroll 3 instead of an Apothecary, we'd be having a much easier time. In terms of what he needs to do next week, not a lot. He's going to have 20k in savings, actually, since his Troll Slayer is going to be out, but I don't know. He could buy a blocker if he wanted to, but I don't really see the need to. It's still dwarves. They're still going to be hard to remove. He's still got the Apo. I mean, he didn't Apo this one, so what can you do? Again, so the Blitzer let the level up thanks to an MVP, or the injury on top of the MVP he had from last week. I don't know. Where did he get the touchdown? I don't remember. This guy got some combination of things that made him level up. I guess I could look. Yeah, 2 catches and a touchdown. Okay, so this is the one that got the touchdown. So yeah, I mean, tackle would be the other option I could look at too, but I really feel like Mighty Blow is the solution here. Mighty Blow just would help clear things out, help him bully weaker things. I just don't see better options for the Blitzer. Guard is certainly a waste. I guess he could get piling on, but Mighty Blow is the funnier thing, and he's already got 2 Frenzy. So yeah, I think Mighty Blow is the way I would go here. Let's take a look at some of the games in the week. Get off my mope train here. Sid had an impressive performance and squeezed out a win. Andrew called the dice ridiculous this week. I don't know what that means exactly, because I don't think Andrew recorded for some reason, but what can you do? Sid got 3 casualties out of it, which is pretty crazy, but he's got an Ogre and 4 Blitzers. Not too unsurprising. 1 touchdown's all you need. No passing from Sid this week. A little bit surprising, just pure running power. Touchdown, I believe, went to a catcher, but let's take a look here. Touchdowns. Yep, went to his Blodge catcher. Not too surprising. Blodge is going to kind of accelerate its strength growth, or his stat growth, I should say. Who got the casualties this week? Looks like the Ogre racked up a couple. And looks like it was either a lineman, which would be pretty funny, or the Blitzer here. So there is that. Money Sid got out of this was 70k. Pretty good. He bought another catcher with his winnings last week. I think that would be a good thing to do again here. This catcher needs to go. There's no question. This catcher is worthless with 1 strength, 3 agility, and 5 SPP. I would just fire this catcher straight away. Use a 70k, buy a new one. Not losing a lot. Team value goes up to 1120, but that's fine. I just think it's a better use because this catcher's not going to do anything anyway. And the only other things to buy would be a thrower. I guess you can make an argument for buying a second throw, but I think the third catcher, as he picked here, is the smarter thing. Station to station. That's good. Just, yeah. Buy Hildred Soren the second, or Soren, I should say, the second, and that'd be the way to go. Yeah. Good deal for Sid. If we look at the Andrew half, not a lot for Andrew. 1 casualty and an MVP is pretty brutal. It's chaos. Early games are going to be hard. 40k makes that kind of the worst thing, though. Didn't buy his Apo. Doesn't look like it mattered too much, but that's what I would get at this point. He got Claw on this Beastman, which I don't agree with. Yes, getting Claw in this league is very good, but you really need a way to move the ball around. And since the other Beastmen are anywhere close, and it looks like the MVP ended up on this Beastman again, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, both MVPs did. It's kind of a waste to get Claw on this guy. I don't know. Sure, it's fine. Probably. He's 1 touchdown away from level 3, I guess, at this point. So maybe it works out. But extra arms, man. I think would have been the way to go. Claw certainly increases his damage, though. So whatever. Next week, buy the Apo. Keep going from there. I don't think Sid had any level progressions beyond that, though. Nope, nothing major here. Yeah, okay. Shut this down. Let's take a look at the rest here. Chris versus Greyduck. Surprised to see Greta doing quite as well as she did. Weather was a huge factor here. There was some sweltering heat, which took out some key players on both sides at key moments. But from what I understand, the win for the Orc is in part due to some extremely great luck in terms of picking up the ball and doing 2 GFIs on turn 16. 2 casualties, 2 touchdowns, and an MVP is quite a bit of SPP. It's 15, which I think is the most for the week. Chris is sitting at a very sad 9 in comparison, which is not good. 70K for this team. Oh man, all the money. Apothecary was purchased for last week, so that's where that money went. Has 90 now. Could buy thrower number 2. That wouldn't be out of place. Could save for the troll too, although she's been making noise that she doesn't like the troll that much. So, you know. In terms of the blitzer level up, which is cool, looks like the blitzer got the touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. Detonator dissonance. Yeah, 2 touchdowns. Poor thrower with no touchdowns. Thrower surprised didn't get a pass in there, but whatever. I think guard would probably be the thing to get. Orcs, almost as much as dwarves, can really benefit from guard. It's already got block. Mighty Blow would be nice, but I think guard is real, at least for the first one, would be the key thing. Both these black orcs didn't have MVP is pretty good. Oh, this black orc got a touchdown? Oh yeah, cool. Touchdown and a casualty. Good deal. Both these black orcs are pretty close to leveling up, so that's good. They'll have block soon, which is terrifying. Great Ox extreme luck on skill development continues, it seems. And let's take a look at the last game here. This was Lizards versus Khemri. Surprised to see Lizards pull this one off. Although I think I predicted they would maybe... No, I predicted Mark would win. They had a little bit of a problem here. Mark went from winning this game to a disconnection problem, causing him to lose the game. And a bunch of SPP. Only got the 5 MVP, which is not that good. Lizards picked up just 1 MVP and a touchdown, so a pretty low SPP game. 8 and 5 here. 70K, though. Not too shabby whatsoever. The skink is back in business. This Saurus got a level up. Block is, as always, the only thing I can think of for a Saurus. I think that's just the way to go here. All on the back of 2 MVP, which is pretty good. But yeah, I think the getting the block is huge. Getting any kind of skills in this team is huge, but block definitely be the most helpful thing. 70K buys Apothecary this week. Tough call. You could definitely save up for reroll number 2. It's 50K away, so it's 1 to 2 weeks away. Could buy another skink as well. I don't know which one's the best call. Getting another skink would be helpful because these guys are going to go down, and when the skinks go down, it's really hard to move the ball. I would almost lean towards just saving for the 3rd reroll, though. 3rd reroll will really help this team out a lot, almost more than just getting 1 skink would. I think that's the way to go, personally speaking. But what can you do? It's certainly up to him. So that's up with that week. A little bit disappointing in terms of my predictions. They kind of went to boot. But hey, these things happen. I'm really sad about my players, but I'm doing okay compared to some of the teams, thanks to elf bullshit. Let's take a look at the week coming up. We're starting off with Orcs versus Humans, literally the classic matchup. I am very excited to see how this plays out. Let's take a look at some free money situations here. Don't know if Sid will fire this catcher or not. I, again, would fire this catcher. I would hire a 3rd one as well. You might as well. Although you could certainly make an argument for keeping team value down. Right now, he's at 1050. Could also say for the 3rd reroll would be the point, but whatever. Different point. So 1050 compared to the Orc teams will be 1080, assuming it's not doubles or something weird. And she doesn't buy another thrower. So at that point, someone would get anything. Assuming, though, that Grey Duck does buy the 2nd thrower, we'd be looking at, let's see, 1080, 1150 compared to Sid's 1050, which would be a 3rd reroll or a bribe or something like that. So maybe it's worth not buying the 3rd catcher here. I think it is, though. You're losing out on, let's see, you'd be at 1120. Yeah, I mean, you're losing out on getting any inducement money then, but I think it's okay. Getting dodge on this one, getting another dodge catch piece would be great, and this thing is worthless. You're going to fire it anyway. Might as well do it now before it accumulates more SPP. So, nothing too exciting there. I don't really know who's going to win this game. The fact that Grey Duck has gotten probably guard on this piece is going to be huge, and the strength of Black Orcs will be a big deal as well. We'll see. It depends on how much damage the Ogre gets in. It depends on how much the human team moves around them. It's a really tight matchup. I'm going to put it at... I'm sure. I'm going to give it to Sid. Sid's been playing kind of out of his mind, both in luck and in skill so far. Having his throwing helps. I'm going to give it to Sid. The scoring power of the human team is much greater at this point. I mean, yeah, he's faster by quite a bit, but I just think that even with the passing ability, just the higher strength of the Orc team isn't going to matter. I just think he can avoid the whole confrontation situation altogether. And between the Ogre, should be able to force the issue in quite a few areas. We'll see how much damage the guard does, though. But still, I think humans win it. This next one, Khemri versus Chaos. Mark got Mighty Blow in this Tomb Guardian, which is great. I think Khemri's got this one in the bag. The Khemri team is even better than the Chaos team at smashing things, and the Chaos team isn't that much faster. Andrew can't get away from the pain train, essentially. Only thing Mark kind of has to worry about is this guy. With careful positioning, the Beastman could claw down a Tomb Guardian without too much trouble. You know, it's not impossible, but I mean, Andrew just lacks a good way to move the ball around still, because he took Claw instead of Extra Arms and didn't get any SPP this week to speak of, whereas Mark doesn't, so I think Mark should win this game. He can punch harder at this point. Andrew needs more levels up before that can happen, which just is going to be a ways off here. Let's take a look at SPP though. Assuming Andrew buys his Apothecary, which he said he'd be at 1070. Mark is sitting at 1080. God, this team is so cheap in some ways. So yeah, no inducement money there either. I guess Andrew could hang out. Let's see, 1080 versus... Yeah, there's no reason to not buy that. One Bloodweiser Babe is not worth an Apothecary, I think. So there's that matchup. We've got Dwarf versus Skaven. Should be an interesting matchup here. Somebody gets Tackle on this Blitzer. Can make life harder for the Gutter Runner. Or sorry, Mighty Blow instead of Tackle. Can still make life harder for the Gutter Runners. Gutter Runners still crumple. Mighty Blow will definitely help melt all the 7 armor value for all the Rat Linemen. Chris got no levels up from what I'm remembering, and almost no money. So yeah, 10k. Oh my god. I don't remember if I talked about Chris's half things. He did not have a good game with the 10k. Yeah, no progression at all this week from Chris, which is really not great. He needs to get more than he has, although he's in a pretty good spot of getting more next week. I think that Chris can win this still. Dwarves, notoriously punchy team, and they certainly messed me up good. But Gutter Runners are so much faster, it doesn't even matter. Chris could just hand off between Gutter Runners and be totally fine. The thrower will certainly help him as well. He can pick up the ball with a great deal of reliability. And then chuck it down. It's, yeah. We'll see. The slowness of this team is definitely its hindrance. Certainly Dwarves can mess things up. Missing a Troll Slayer, though, is a big deal. Without the Frenzy block, it's going to be a lot harder to get a lot done. And having a slower piece in exchange, also not the best. So I think Skaven should be able to pull this one off. Chris's luck has to turn around eventually. And then, oh, this is a force tie, but whatever. And then me versus Lizards. Let's see here. So somebody gets block here, 1080. Somebody saves his money for the reroll. So yeah, 1080 versus my much more than that. 930 plus 180 from the things will be, good lord, 1110. That's that's not the best, to be honest, but hey, I got 2 levels up. It kind of makes sense that I'd have that much more SPP. So 1110 versus the 1060. So he's actually going to get a Babe out of that deal, which is pretty good, assuming he doesn't buy anybody else. If he does buy somebody, 1050, yeah, nothing for me at that point, nothing for anybody. In terms of how this game goes, I'm very nervous about this. The one nice part about having 3 mercenaries is they are going to sit on the line over and over and over again, as long as they still stand, which might not be very long. I'll give you that. one of my big advantages in this league is that I'm fast and can move the ball around a lot. This team is also very fast, but cannot move the ball around as much. But skinks are really hard to knock down when I don't have tackle or anything fun like that yet. And the Sauruses are all strength 4, so I really can't mess with them at all. I think I can win this. I just hope I can keep my players. I'll say I'll win it, sure. Elf bullshit will win the day, and having more experience still counts for a lot. And I've kicked now, so that'll help me quite a bit. Hitting block on this guy should help as well. So I've got 3 pieces with block. That should help me with my punching game a little bit more. We'll see. God, I hope this game goes well for me because I desperately need a ton of SPP. Hopefully I can get 2 levels up on these catchers. Not impossible with this team. Any other easy level ups? Maybe the Blitzer too, I guess. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to hurt some skinks and hope I can just outmove the ball. So, that's this week. Quick recap on who I think will win. I think humans will win. I think that Mark should have this game. I think that Chris should have this game. And I think I should have this game. Nice back and forth. Let's take a look at the rankings there because they actually kind of matter now that we're finished week 2. We've got Sid and Grey Duck undefeated with 2 wins each at the top of the charts. And then we have Lizards with 101 being in 3rd place and me in 4th at 2nd. None of this matters too much. It's just kind of a nice thing to kind of keep track of general how things are going throughout the season. Yeah. God, what a week. In terms of Hall of Fame, most experienced player is on the Chaos team because all of his SPP has been going that way. Fair numbers level 2, actually. 9 players that have hit level 2, which is pretty good considering that's week 2. 2 of my players are on there, which is pretty exciting. Yeah, me and Orville actually have the most experienced players on this league so far. So that's cool. Touchdown monkeys. This doesn't tell us too much actually at this point because it's still early on. The league's been relatively low scoring because it's bashy. Best thrower. I'm happy this is me. I'm kind of surprised Sid isn't more on this list, but when you're an elf, you throw more and can catch more. Best interception. I hate that one's me. Luckily, we haven't had more of these, but we'll probably get more as weeks go ahead. Most violent players. Not surprised to see dwarves on here twice, especially since I ate 2 deaths. God. Orcs on here too with 2 injuries, and then the ogre as well, racking up some stuff. And then a bunch of 1s spread out here. I'm surprised to see me on here that much. Who's got the most at this point? Dwarves. Not too surprising there since I got eaten up. 4 players with injuries, and then poor Mark, only 1 injury dealt with the Camry team, which is really not where he wants to be. Those disconnects have really hurt him. Best running. I'm surprised I'm up here as much as I am, but I've moved around a lot with a thrower. Dean is also... Oh, anyway. Sorry, I was thinking back to Dean from last season for Mark. Not a lot here to say here. Some more running probably in the future for a lot of these players, but probably not me, actually. I wouldn't be surprised to see me drop off this list pretty quickly since I tend to do most of my yardage with throwing. Running is just not what this team does, what the elf team does as well. Orcs moving the ball around a lot with a lot of different players, it seems. Best throwing is me because I pitch quite a ways. Not a huge surprise there. Survivor is always going to be nothing. Killing, had to be somebody. Someone had to go first. It looks like it's going to be no matter what I do. Best receiving. Let's see what we've got here in terms of teams. I mean, best number of receiving is my catcher, Sid's catcher, and then my catcher again, and then I think this is a gutter runner. Anyway, happy to see I've got. No, it doesn't matter. This is 0. All right. Well, 2 players on here. We've got the most number of receptions. Not too bad. I'm an alt team though, so not too surprising. Thanks for watching, everybody. Next week should be pretty interesting. I'm going to say that every week because every game is going to be great. Classic human match. Classic Titans of punching. Classic little teams that can. And then Murder Fest. Yeah, this game's going to be so hard. I'm not looking forward to it. Whatever. It should be fun. All right, cool. Thanks for watching, everybody.